Hi, room 20, it's Mrs. Adams. I was thinking that for today, since we're doing 4-digit dividends, like this one right here, that another video might be helpful for you. So, I hope that yesterday went well and that you used your groups of the divisor list to help you. I'll show you another 2 examples today so that way you can get going on your classwork and homework. So, if we have a 4-digit dividend, like this one here, that means we're going to need to start with quite a lot of groups of 5, or whatever our divisor is. So when we go over to our groups sheet, remember from yesterday, we can think of groups of 10 and 100. If I start with tens, 10 times 5, as we know, is 50. That's going to be way too small. If I started with 10 groups of 5 and subtracted 50, that's a lot of subtracting. So I think it's a pretty safe bet that I want to move into hundreds of 5s. 100 times 5 equals 500, as we know. I think I can get even closer because this number is in the 2000s. So I'm going to keep going with my hundreds list until I get to a number of 5s that's really close to 2,892, which is my dividend. I'm still in the 1000s, still in the 1000s. I think I can get even closer. Do you see how I just keep going? 100. If that's too small, I go to 200. If that's too small, I go to 300, and then 400. So now I'm up to 2,000. That's pretty close. Do you think I can get closer? My next number of 5s is 500 times 5. I think I can do it. Let's go back over here. 500 times 5 equals 2,500. And I think I might just have found just the right one. If I went up to 600 times 5, that would equal 3,000, which is just a bit too big. So I'm going to start with 500 groups of 5, which we know is 2,500. Let's go over here and do that. 500 groups of 5. Sorry about that. And I'm going to subtract 2,500. So go ahead and subtract, and you should get 392. That really got that dividend down quickly. So now I need to find how many groups do I go to next. I have 392. If I go back to my list here, I can't even do 100 groups of 5, right? Because that's 500, and we have 392. Therefore, I'm going to have to go back to my tens list now. Now I'm working with smaller numbers of 5s. So 10 times 5 is 50. That's kind of small. I think I can get closer than that. So I'm going to go right ahead down and make my list. 20 groups of 5 is 100. I think I can get closer. 30 groups of 5 equals 150. 40 groups of 5 equals 200. I'm getting closer. 50 groups of 5 equals 250. Let's look, 250. Can I get closer? Probably. 60 groups of 5 equals 300. 70 groups of 5 equals 350. Well, I'm getting pretty close. I'm close to that 392. If I went to 80 groups of 5, what would that be? Do you know it? It would be 400, right? That's too big, right? So I know I can't use the 80 groups of 5. I'm going to have to go back and use my 70 groups of 5, which is 350. So back here we got 70 groups of 5 minus 350, and that gives me 42. At this point, I know my basic 5 facts, so I need to think of a basic 5 fact that comes close to 42 but doesn't go over. Can you think of one? How about 5 times 8? I know 5 times 8 is 40. And that seems pretty close without going over. That leaves me with 2, which is my remainder. My last step is to add my groups. 500 plus 70 plus 8 is going to be 578. with a remainder of 2. If I wanted to make that remainder into a fraction, I would take my remainder as the top of my fraction and the divisor as the bottom. Either way is okay to write your answer. If doing the groups like I did on the pink paper helps you, then you should do it. If you can do this in your head, you don't have to write out your groups. That's just something to do if it will help you. All right? Click on the next video for another example.